Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to scale without taking any more sales calls. So before we begin, my name is John Magner. If you haven't watched any other videos on my channel, I've actually built and scaled multiple B2B sales teams across various industries to 500,000 to $1 million a month. And my job here is just to educate you guys as business owners to scale without being stuck in the system. And there's one belief that traps more B2B founders than anything else. And it sounds a little bit like this. No one can sell like I can. If I'm not involved, deals fall apart. And I'll step back once we're bigger. And I believe that for many years. And it actually kept me in the same loop that every business owner hits, which in reality, you started the company to create freedom, and then you accidentally built a job that you cannot leave. And the reality is if your revenue drops the second that you stop taking calls, you don't own a business, you own a high stress sales role. And today I want to show you exactly how B2B founders can actually exit sales without slowing your growth, and why doing this is actually the fastest way to scale. And here's the shift that unlocks everything. A business owner that requires you to make money is not a scalable business. And it might be profitable, it might even look impressive, but it's fragile. And real businesses create value without the founder or the business owner having to be involved. And the moment your company stops being dependent on you and starts working through systems and people, it becomes something that you can actually grow and eventually be sold. And let me be practical. Two B2B companies have the same revenue, the same margin, and the same clients. One is founder-led sales, and one runs without the founder. And they look identical on the surface, but they're not even close in value. And the reason is because buyers, they don't buy revenue, they buy predictability and systems. And predictability comes from your systems and processes, not heroics. So step one, the first thing that you want to do is you want to inventory your sales role. And the first thing that every single business owner gets wrong is thinking that sales is just one trick. And in reality, it's a dozen of tiny actions that you've just memorized over time. So step one is brutally simple. You got to write down everything that you do in sales, not just close deals, but actual actions. How to handle discovery, how are leads followed up, how discoveries ran, how objections are handled, how deals are pushed to close, how handoffs happen after the sale. In reality, everything from A to Z in your sales process should be documented. And if you don't know what you do, run a one-on-one week time audit, and every single 15 minutes, write down what you're doing. And this alone exposes how much of your time is trapped in just repeatable and monotonous work. Now, step two, you want to turn sales into decisions, not talent. Because most business owners think they're good at sales because they're persuasive, and that's really not why deals close most of the time. Deals close because of decision frameworks. If they say X as a prospect, I do Y. If they don't have a budget, here's how I handle it. If their timing is weak, this is how I reframe it. And in reality, it's not talent, it's simply logic, and logic can be documented. And your job is to turn into sales intuition, into rules of behavior. So instead of teaching reps to quote unquote be better, you teach them how to actually decide. And in reality, this is how you decide to remove yourself and make the business not dependent on you without having to lower any of your close rates. Now, step number three is probably the hardest step, which keeps most people stuck. And in reality, you just got to accept 80% first, or you stay stuck. Now, what do I mean by this? And the belief that kills most transitions is that most people are not going to do it as well as me. Most people are not going to sell as well as me. And while it is true at the beginning, it's completely irrelevant. Because the real question is, would you rather own 100% what you personally can produce by your time, or even just 50% of what a team can scale? And in reality, you know the correct answer. And if you can do something well part-time, someone else can do it way better than you full-time. And your job is not to protect perfection. Your job is to create leverage. And 80% today with the path to improvement beats 100% forever. That just cannot scale. Now, step number 4 is to move from seller to system owner. And the real upgrade founders miss is you don't stop selling by stepping away. You stop selling by owning the system instead of the calls. Now, your new role goes from business owner who's also taking sales calls to recruiting sales talent, installing structure, reviewing scorecards, fixing bottlenecks, and essentially, which is the most important, just improving marketing and improving your offer. And you stop asking, how do I close this deal? And you start asking, why did this deal exist in the first place and how can I create more of them? And that's really the difference between a sales rep and a CEO. Now, step 5 is removing your face from acquisition. And if your pipeline depends on you showing up, you're obviously still trapped, even with the sales team. Because B2B scale requires acquisition systems that work without the founder. And this means proof-based marketing instead of personality-based marketing, testimonials, case studies, and lifestyle content, sales calls, onboarding calls, and delivery moments turn into actual assets. It's extremely important. And marketing that actually compounds instead of resets every single month. Because the goal isn't to disappear, the goal is to become optional. And the real test that I give every single owner is, can you step away for 30 days and have the business survive? And the next test is, can you step away for 90 days from sales and have the business improve? And that's when you stop owning a job and start owning an asset. So if you do all these steps as a business owner, yes, you may take a step back and it may be a lot harder, but in reality, this is the most optimal step for you to stop becoming a high-paid sales rep and actually have leverage as a business owner. And the reality is exiting sales isn't about working less. It's about building something bigger than you. And that's the fastest way to scale a B2B company, is actually stop being the system and start being one. So if this helped, subscribe, like, comment, stop building the system, and stop being the system, and start building one. So if you want help with me, go ahead and comment scale. I have a free document that can show you exactly how to go from founder to business owner with an actual sales system. Thanks, guys.